A historic repricing event is sweeping through the global semiconductor supply chain, and it is starting at the absolute epicenter of memory manufacturing. While retail investors focused on quarterly earnings beats, institutional capital quietly triggered a massive liquidation. In just 48 hours, South Korea's benchmark Kospi index experienced a severe sell-off, dragging down industrial titans Samsung and SK Hynix by up to 14%. This is not just a standard market correction. It is a fundamental reassessment of global liquidity, technology supply chains, and the structural tailwinds of the artificial intelligence boom. To understand where smart money is moving next, we must look past the immediate panic and analyze the underlying mechanics driving this structural shift. To comprehend the scale of this dislocation, we must first analyze the structural moats of these two dominant enterprises. Samsung Electronics operates as a dual-engine behemoth, controlling a massive share of the global DRAM and NAND flash markets while maintaining an advanced logic foundry business. SK Hynix, on the other hand, has positioned itself as a highly specialized, pure-play memory powerhouse. It has captured an early lead in high-bandwidth memory, or HBM, which is the vital silicon backbone powering next-generation artificial intelligence accelerators. Together, these two South Korean giants control over 70% of the global memory market, giving them an unprecedented structural moat that cannot easily be replicated by global competitors. But that is only part of the story. The absolute critical point here is how memory architecture has shifted from a cheap commodity to a high-margin, specialized technology. In modern computing, high-performance GPUs are completely bottlenecked without massive bandwidth. SK Hynix and Samsung are the primary toll booth operators for this entire computing revolution. If you want to train large language models, you must buy their high-bandwidth silicon. This structural dynamic transforms these companies from simple cyclical manufacturers into critical sovereign infrastructure assets. When a shockwave hits their valuations, it ripples through the entire global technological landscape, affecting everything from cloud service providers to consumer electronics. Here's where the margin metrics become interesting. Leading up to this sell-off, both companies were showing dramatic signs of margin expansion. In their latest quarterly updates, operational profitability rebounded sharply as memory prices recovered from their cyclical lows. Samsung's chip division had finally returned to substantial profitability, driven by strong average selling prices for enterprise SSDs and advanced DRAM. SK Hynix reported record-breaking quarterly revenue, showcasing how premium HBM sales can yield near-unprecedented operating margins. Yet, despite these glowing backward-looking numbers, institutional desks focused heavily on a different set of figures, spotting early signs of a structural cooling in standard consumer memory markets. Now look at how the capital expenditure budgets are shifting. Maintaining a competitive edge in memory manufacturing requires astronomical capital allocation. Both firms are spending tens of billions of dollars annually to transition their manufacturing lines to advanced nodes like 1-alpha and 1-beta DRAM. This massive capex commitment is a double-edged sword. When demand is robust, it creates an impenetrable barrier to entry. But when the macro cycle starts to turn, these fixed costs create intense downward pressure on cash flow. The market is beginning to question whether this aggressive capital cycle will lead to oversupply, potentially repeating the painful inventory gluts of past cycles. The next signal comes from management's corporate guidance and execution strategy. Samsung's leadership has been aggressively pushing to qualify its latest 8-layer and 12-layer HBM3E chips with major global hyperscalers. Securing these qualification stamps is the ultimate near-term catalyst for the company. Meanwhile, Management is actively pivoting capacity away from legacy consumer DRAM to high-margin server chips. This tactical allocation of cleanroom space is designed to protect average selling prices even if consumer electronic demand remains sluggish. It is a clear indication that corporate strategy is fully focused on protecting structural profitability over raw market share volume. At the same time, SK Hynix management has doubled down on its close-knit alliance with key design partners, particularly NVIDIA. Their commentary highlights an incredibly tight supply schedule, claiming their HBM capacity is fully booked through the next fiscal year. However, execution risk remains a persistent concern. Achieving stable manufacturing yields on advanced packaging technologies is incredibly difficult. Management's ability to scale production without sacrificing yield is the primary metric that institutional allocators are watching. Any delay in production ramp-ups would immediately open the door for competitors to capture critical market share during this tight window. That leads us to a bigger question regarding the broader industry context. The recent equity sell-off cannot be analyzed in a vacuum. It was heavily amplified by global macro dynamics, specifically the sudden unwinding of the global yen carry trade and rising recession concerns in the United States. When global macro funds face margin pressure, they do not sell their illiquid assets. They liquidate their most liquid, high-performing international holdings first. Large-cap technology leaders like Samsung and SK Hynix were prime targets for this systematic capital rotation. This tells us that the initial leg of the sell-off was driven more by global liquidity dynamics than a deterioration of core business fundamentals. Something important is happening here in terms of competitive positioning and global supply chains. The geopolitical landscape is forcing a massive restructuring of where advanced semiconductor manufacturing takes place. Governments in the United States, Europe, and Japan are offering massive subsidies to build domestic fabrication facilities. While this direct government support seems positive on the surface, it risks fragmenting the global supply chain. For South Korean manufacturers, navigating export restrictions to key markets while building out high-cost domestic capacity in Western countries presents a complex balancing act. It represents a structural shift from optimized global efficiency to expensive, localized resilience. Let us turn our attention to the structural risks that are keeping portfolio managers up at night. The primary risk in any memory cycle is the sudden transition from undersupply to severe oversupply. Historically, chip makers have consistently overbuilt capacity during upcycles, leading to massive inventory write-downs when demand inevitably cools. There is a growing concern that hyperscalers may be double-ordering chips today to secure their supply chains, artificially inflating current demand metrics. If cloud capital expenditures begin to normalize, the sudden drop in order books could catch these semiconductor manufacturers with massive, unhedged inventory piles. That's where things get interesting on the cost side. High-performance manufacturing requires incredibly specialized input materials, specialized equipment from monopolies like SML, and immense energy resources. Operating these massive manufacturing facilities is becoming increasingly expensive due to persistent energy cost inflation and rising wage pressures. Additionally, both companies are highly sensitive to currency fluctuations. A volatile Korean won impacts their export competitiveness and the translated value of their global revenues. When you combine input cost inflation with currency volatility, operating margins can compress far faster than standard consensus models predict. This brings us to a critical forward-looking valuation reassessment. Following this historic sell-off, the valuation gap between these technology giants and their Western peers has widened significantly. Samsung and SK Hynix are trading at price-to-book multiples that sit incredibly close to their historical cyclical floors. This massive discount represents a potential structural dislocation for patient, long-term allocators. The underlying demand for compute, memory, and high-performance storage is not disappearing. In fact, it is structurally expanding. As global liquidity stabilizes, the market will likely begin to refocus on the sheer earnings power of these specialized memory assets. For institutional allocators, this is a clear environment for careful capital rotation rather than outright panic. We are placing these high-performance memory assets on a strict breakout watch as the broader market establishes a stable bottom. The core thesis surrounding the global hardware build-out remains entirely intact, and the current valuation discount offers a compelling entry point for disciplined capital. To stay ahead of these structural shifts and receive deep institutional analysis, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and leave your thoughts on where this memory cycle goes next in the comments below.